Oh man, it looks like this is going to be one of those days. I don't know about you, man, but I think that these videos get like exponentially better when I'm able to fit a pun somewhere in the intro of the video. So I had to do it. I had to do it to him. You know what it is. Yeah, my name is Doug. Welcome if you're new to the channel. If you're not new, welcome back to another video. I'm very happy that you decided to stop by and tune in today as we listen to Gunna's new album called WUNNA. This is the wumbo to his... I can't believe I almost made that joke. Yeah, we've got the Vitruvian Man on the cover, but in a very weird art style. I like the color scheme. I love the color scheme. I like the futuristic feel to it, but I don't think that the actual design of the character is the best. I think that the actual design on Gunna himself could have been a little better, but I think that they had something with this one. You know, they had something here. They kind of squandered it with the little details, but you know, for the most part, I'm not super mad at it. This project's got 18 tracks on it. I'm always a little bit wary of going into a project that has over 12 to 15 tracks. But, you know, I'm going to keep an open mind. I enjoy Gunna as an artist. I think that he makes very wavy music that's very easy to vibe out to, kind of get lost in. You know, it's very smooth music in terms of his delivery. And it's going to be something that you can kind of vibe out to a little bit. But it does get a little old past, 12 to 15 tracks. So I'm hoping that that isn't the case with this one. I'm hoping that along with some of those smoother tracks, we get some bangers on here, like undeniable bangers. And I'm going into it with an open mind. We're going to talk about the beats, going to talk about his performance, and it's going to be a fun listen. I'm hoping to have a fun time. So yeah, I'm just excited that you guys are here with me. And I will say, before we get into it, just be sure to support the channel any way that you see fit. Becoming a patron is really cool because it's how I kind of crowdfund all the different ideas that I want to implement into the channel, all the equipment that I want to get, the new segments and series and things like that. It's the reason that I'm able to keep this channel up and running, because of the patrons that have been helping me out so far. And I'm just super thankful to them. So shout out to the patrons, shout out to the members of the channel. And yeah, if you're not able to support that way, I know times are tough, you can always subscribe, like the videos, share them with somebody you think might enjoy them. And yeah, I'm just really appreciative of all of the support in every single way that you guys have shown to the channel so far. It means a lot to me. So, with that said, we're going to be jumping into WUNNA by Gunna. I want to make the wumbo joke so bad, dude. The first track is Argentina. Let's get to it. Argentina, California. Using the Bentley beef on weekends. Smoke shit like the noise. Swerving around these toys. This is how we're starting off? Let's go. We don't take like niggas who chasing niggas to your mom. I got 100,000 in my pocket, little nigga. I got it out the swamp. Using the Bentley beef on up the street playing when I saw him. It's got a very smooth opening, man. Seriously, he was sliding on that track. Like, his performance was just super silky smooth. A great flow, not that typical simple triplet flow that we were so used to by now. He was sliding on this. I have no problems with this one at all. I love those guitars, very great bass line, like a very smooth sounding 808. It's got like a slower vibe to it. It's just a really cool track. I'm not mad at that opener at all. Track 2 is Gimmick. Then we roll both of you critics. Gotta chop like crickets. Love Juno. I been shit for life, like shit, I'm chillin' it. My dog down the road might have to kill it. He bless my shit sticky. That bounce is great. Everything through our back was look like law. Feel like that truth blaze of that end in the fall. The work for like blessing involved. Ain't none of this dope. I like that on that second verse, he kind of took a little bit of the same flow from Travis Scott and Young Thug on Hot. I think that it's a really smooth flow to use on this beat, especially since it's got those hi-hats that are in triplets. They feel like they're kind of like stuttering a little bit, like they feel like they hold off, they hold the beat back a little bit until the actual snare hits, and then it feels like there's a release every time that the snare is hitting, because it feels like those hi-hats are lagging a little bit behind because of the fact that they're in triplets. I think that that's great, because it meshes with that same flow really, really well on that second verse. It's got a great bounce to it. It's got a really smooth vibe to it. And I might say smooth a lot during this video, but that's really like one of the best words to describe it. Is you listen to this and you're just like, man, like he's sliding on this track. Everything about it is just smooth. It's well executed. It's like finessed. You know what I mean? It sounds really cool. So yeah, no problems with that one as well. I will say this, it is my first listen. I think it sounds great. I don't know how memorable it's going to be in the long run. Coming back to the project, this may be one of my least favorite tracks if there are some other tracks that really stand out to me. But on my first listen, like I said, it's a really good track, and I'm not mad at it at all. Weezy needs some kind of award, man, for these beats that he's producing. These are super cinematic, great bounce to all of them. The bass lines are so smooth, like they're so clean, you know. There's not too much distortion to them. There's not very aggressive, but they still hit so hard. So it's just a nice, clean sounding bass. And the melodies that he puts in the background, they can go from really epic to very somber and dark and kind of moody to gloomy to, you know, a more triumphant sound like he did for Hot with the trumpets. So like he needs some recognition, man. You know, it's not just Gunna that's sliding on these beats. These beats are great. No. I love it. It's dope. That's so fire, man. The way he's performing, so good. This like nonchalant delivery, this very laid back approach, where he's almost whispering. It sounds almost like he's like bored a little bit. Fits really well with this beat. You know, it doesn't sound like he's being lazy. It doesn't sound like he actually doesn't care. It sounds like it's intentional. It sounds like it's all just meant to soothe you a little bit, you know? It's like, it almost exudes a confidence, the fact that he's so nonchalant about his performance on this, you know? And I think that that's really cool. I think that confidence that he brings when he knows that he's like just sliding on a track and he's flowing and everything is just working really well to his favor. You know, it's a very strange thing that soft delivery exudes so much confidence. I think it's awesome. A very, very cool track. Next track is Feigning. I want that energy from Take Heed. Oh my god. You hear those strings, dude? Are those strings or horns? They might be some really strange horns. I think they're strings. They sound epic, dude. Hey. I love the way Take Heed programs his hi-hats, dude. I'm just gonna put that out there. The way that he programs his hi-hats, they're so loud, so crisp, and they stand out so much in the beat, and they add that crazy bounce to it, you know, that it's so sick, dude. I mean, the bass is slapping right now, but these hi-hats are so crisp. Love it. You know, that little roll is so nice. The fact that he pitched it too is really cool. Yeah, man, I would say that Gunna's 4 for 4 right now. I think that the production absolutely has been awesome. And so that's a plus. You know, whenever you've got Gunna on a beat that just isn't hitting so well, that seriously detracts from what he's able to do on the track. So I think that plays a major part in how good these songs are sounding. But he's also doing his thing, man. He's coming at these songs with different flows, different performances, different cadences, more or less energy depending on the vibe of the track. He's playing around with the tempo of some of these tracks. Some of them are slower, some of them have very fast-paced beats to them, you know, and I'm enjoying that. So I think that he's 4 for 4. I think that that's a really great performance from him again. And like I said, man, Take Heath goes crazy on his hi-hats, and I think it sounds awesome, sick. It sounds great. And those strings, I like the fact that they're a little dissonant at times, but it's not harsh, it's not abrasive. It still, you know, sounds just really interesting. So yeah, that's awesome. Doll is on my head featuring Young Thug. Oh man, the pitched vocals go crazy. Hey. I'm a lick of skin, she's so precious, precious. Might not fuck again, she too relevant. If I die, nigga spin. I got 2 B's on my buzzer and a thing in. I think that's my favorite track so far. For sure. I think that Gunna outshined Young Thug on this one. I'm loving that little 2-bar loop for the melody. It's very simple. It sounds like they might have had a more complex melody and then they added gross beat to it to make it sound a little darker. I might be wrong about that, but I think it's just really cool in the background. It sits nicely in the mix. It's got a really great drum pattern, and Gunna was flowing like crazy. The melodies he was singing were very dope. And Young Thug did his thing on here, for sure. I mean, Gunna really just outshined him on this track, I think. But yeah, this is probably my favorite one so far. And it's the first one off my first listen to make it onto my playlist too, so that's saying something. Next track is Addies featuring Nechi. Rolling the Scotty and drinking the Cody whenever I swallow Eddie. Drugs in my body, I could we don't do nothing, we try on the block for a penny. I put this thing right to his back.
Come from the side, I'm at your neck like a tiger. Yeah, I'm with the coupe out of lights on my wrist and the pop me shit.
Yeah, this is the first one that's just not really resonating with me. Like, I think the beat is great, but I think, I don't know, something about it just doesn't sit right with me in their performances. Yeah, I also, like, if you asked me what they could have done better, I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's just something about it, the feeling just isn't there, you know what I mean? It's just not hitting for me, but that's okay. Next track is Skybox.
Get high in the sky, boss, I can see it. High spot in this plush, I just see it. My friends stretch my hands, money on
Those melodies are so creative, man. Yo, this is fire. It's going in. I like this a lot. I think that those background melodies are super creative, man. They've got a really cool bounce to them. It sounds like there might be some guitars in there along with some pitched up vocals, which sped the vocals up, and so that sounds like that might be the source of the plucking little melodies. Who knows? You know, I'm gonna listen to it with headphones on later, and that'll give me a clearer idea. But still, I'm really intrigued by those melodies in the background, and I think that Gunna's flow was really approachable, really easy on the ears. And I think that this is a track where everything was working really well together. You know, so I like it. Next track is the title track, WUNNA. Let's go. One of those days. I'm gonna keep saying it.
Money, huddle, gotta, cuddle, lot of orders. I'm a stoner, summer.
Is this freestyle? You know, it's tough to talk about this one specifically, because it sounds like it might be freestyled. It sounds like he's listening to the beat, which I think is great, enjoying the beat. It sounds like he's listening to the beat and he's just kind of vibing to it himself, just mumbling whatever comes to mind that sounds like it might rhyme. And he thought it was smooth enough to actually use. That's what it sounds like, and it is smooth, and it sounds good. It sounds like, you know, like he's vibing to it, and I personally, when I listen to that, I want to end up vibing with him, so I kind of go with it, you know. I kind of like hop onto the wave, and I enjoy the way it sounds. It sounds like he's just feeling the beat, and that's what you end up doing, at least me personally. But on the other hand, you're not really saying anything, and so if you're looking for like deeper lyrics, or you're looking for something that is actually like written, or something that has a little bit more complexity to it, you're not looking for Anna, Wanna, Gunna, Hama. That's not what you're looking for. So I can see how, from both perspectives, this might end up being really fire, and this might end up not being so enjoyable. You know, some people might enjoy hearing Gunna actually spit lyrics, and some people might enjoy just listening to Gunna vibe out on a track. So I feel like I want to present those two sides, but personally, I think it's working, you know. But I also think that depending on the day, depending on my mood on the day, I might not have enjoyed this as much as I am now. So if you're in that group of people that isn't enjoying this so much because it sounds kind of half-assed, I get it, but I like it.
Acorn, rich, they gon' A1, baby, like an acorn, baby, but speed in that bitch.
Oh, some new melodies came in.
Gonna put on the wrist, quarters, whiz, water.
It's fire, bro. It's fire.
Bitch, on the minute, Honda, cook hey, my crew, hey, surfer.
It's actually kind of ridiculous how much I like it. Like, I think it's really fire. He's just vibing, and it sounds so clean, you know? That's so funny.
Papa
Smurf? He's gotta be freestyling that, man. Papa Smurf, you're just gonna throw that out there and not mention it? Come on, dude. It's so funny that he said that. Yeah, I like it. I like it because it's just a vibe. He's just vibing out, and it's kind of a fun track, and the beat goes hard, and it's kind of got a really cool wavy vibe to it. I'm not mad at it. I like it. Papa Smurf is hilarious. It's crazy. Heading into the halfway mark now. Blindfold featuring Lil Baby.
Motherfucker port, don't push start, I'm going record. Push one button, I can close it in. You can smell it when I pour. All I drink is on.
You can smell it when I pour?
Spinning on designer when I'm shopping in New York. Been a pass on the north.
This flow is fire.
Then show my sneakers like they shorts. Gonna spit, then I'm beginning, and we hit it.
This hook is kind of crazy.
You can hear the money in my voice. Vincent Door 2020, I ain't have a choice. And I got.
Oh my god, the way Lil Baby just slides in there, bro. Do you hear that? You could hear money in my voice. You're just gonna slide in there, smooth as silk, and just say something like that, bro?
I drip me, gonna walk water. Yeah, middle finger ring cost quarter. Probably wanna fly, you ain't
Yo.
them Jordans. How you go from session and you didn't forget?
This beat sounds evil. That's going on my playlist. You know, I think I might be switching my mind a little bit. I might be changing my mind. I think that I used to prefer Gunna over Lil Baby, but recently that's been changing. You know? I still got love for both of them, and I think that they're both, you know, really fire artists. I love their music. But I personally think that I might enjoy Lil Baby more than Gunna, which is crazy. I couldn't, if you asked me like a year ago, I would never have thought that I would be saying something like that. But yeah, Lil Baby's fire, and he had to grow on me. But man, he's fire, dude. It's crazy. He just slid in here and took command of the track, took control of the track, and the beat sounds so sinister, and his performance is so confident, and something about the way his voice sounds on this track, and he came in with that, like, his voice sounds deeper on this track, the way that he performed it, you know? It's so fire, man. I had to add it to my playlist. It's so good. I love that one. That's probably one of the most fire tracks off the project so far. Gunna's taking a W with this album though. Seriously, like I'm enjoying it more than I expected to at this point. I would have expected to have found at least 2 or 3 throwaways halfway through the project, and there's just none really. So yeah, this is fire. This is dope. Rockstar, Bikers, and Chains. I love the guitars in the background. I think that the humming in the background is great. I think that his flow is really nice. His melodies that he's singing are really dope. Those glitchy hi-hats are just really distracting and kind of harsh.
I hope it's a bulletproof vest in that jacket. I keep it dressed like a man.
Yeah, this one's just not for me. This is a miss. This is, you know, those hats are really distracting, and they're just not doing it for me. So unfortunately, this is a bad one. This is a bad one. Met Gala is next, though. We're gonna keep going.
She sent me a text, on answer her call. She love when I flex, and shopping I'm off, relieving the stress. Easy to slip, don't want you to fall.
Coming back strong.
That make a he don't compare because we not the same. Go on and no gimmick and clowning for fame. I trap for a skin, I made this shit happen and passionate play.
The guitars in the background are so smooth. Yeah, it sounds like there might also be like a female vocal paired with that guitar in the background. I love, again, the hi-hats that are in triplets. You know, it adds a really cool bounce to your tracks, man. That might be a cool little trick for you to try. Don't just do your rolls in triplets, although that also helps a lot. But actually have some triplet hi-hats in there a little bit more spaced apart. It adds a really unique bounce. And yeah, I think that he came back strong from that last track that I didn't really like. I thought that this one was pretty fire. I like the vibe to it, love the bounce, love the melodies to it. I think he's got a really cool performance on it. So yeah, it's a dope track. Next track is Nasty Girl / On Camera.
All over the world, running nasty girls. Pulling her curls. She only wanna follow when I leave. Know how I keep a bank on me. This on fleek. 100% pointers in my teeth. When I got that shit, they gonna put it on repeat. Baby, take a look at the seed. Make a nigga smuggle out of weed. The one with the seed. These little boys don't want Anna. I talk to that hoe when I'm out. Think me on the floor.
The first half of this is really dope. I was loving his performance. I was trying to decide how I really felt about the beat and the 808 that was chosen and the background melodies, and I think that, you know, it was okay. I'm not mad at it. It wasn't one of my favorite tracks, but it was dope. The beat wasn't as good as Gunna actually was on the track, which is kind of the other way around, you know, on some of the other ones where Gunna is okay and the beat is really what carries it. Gunna carried the first half of this track for me. But on the second half of this beat, man, the second half of this track, just not for me. Those really high little pitched melodies. It doesn't sound good to me, you know? It doesn't sound good to me.
Everything twice, my shooter in the video. 10th grade, bought a frame, blue off licks. Stroke no tongue, watch you biting on lip. I fly across the globe, we'll call another hit. Tired of you broken with piss. I feel like a record on the night of space. Got plenty of shit, smoke gasoline, 93 out.
Let's go.
Car never did, I just stay without a limit. Got my niggas in the feds getting loans when they get out. Keep had to bring the bin, take it with the kid out. Gotta tell me how to sit at the fence. When I pull the move, saying she keep cracking on the dick. Look, I got top on top the rooftop, yeah. Big color and suicide.
Roddy goes crazy, bro. I love seeing this just insane rise that Roddy Ricch is having, you know? He dropped a fire project towards the end of the last year, and recently he has been killing every single feature that he's been on, dude. It's crazy. Loving to see this rise, this crazy, you know, takeover by Roddy Ricch. Absolutely killed his verse on this beat. Gunna did the same thing. When he comes in with that hook and his voice is way deeper than usual, super sinister, like super dark. This track is great. It's one of my favorites. I love the bounce to that guitar melody. I added it to my playlist. And this is a standout track. I think on any objective perspective, this is going to be a standout track. So, yeah, I like that one a lot. I'm on some.
Hold back down to no one. Everybody knows coming. We broke but ain't having none. And I see shots while I hold it steady. We caught the credits, we never paid.
I think this one's a little boring, I'm not gonna lie. It just really wasn't hitting for me all that much. Can't really say why, whether it was a little bit of a lackluster beat or a performance from Gunna. You know, I don't know. This one just wasn't great. Top Floor featuring Travis Scott. Let's go.
Go way right into it, days it can break your life. You gotta think twice. I'm out to.
The way those background vocals play with the trumpets is great.
Hot in the sky, they can't reach. Fabulous, that ain't unique. Run like Ferraris. Eating calamari. You don't need sucker, sorry on that side.
Weezy killed the trumpets again.
My diamond, they like parade. Make up with it, those same color shades.
Yo, the humming, bro.
The ball was outdoors. Took it down and used it to the chachos. The thing when I swallowed the drink. I grow my own gas in the back of the finally feel cover.
Sliding. I like it. So get this. Metro Boomin and Kanye West executive producing. Travis Scott and Kid Cudi humming. And that's the album for 7 tracks. That's album of the year, dude. It's album of the year. I think so. No lie. Metro Boomin and Kanye West on production. Travis Scott and Kid Cudi humming. Album of the year. It's a simple formula. In all seriousness, though, I think that this is a really great track. I like the hook. I think that the beat is absolutely phenomenal. Weezy killed it. Those trumpets sound great. Travis and Gunna sound awesome. It's a fun track. It's a banger. I like it. Don't Play Around, track 16. We're getting into a little bit of a fatigue here, where we've listened to 16 tracks and we've still got 2 to go after it, and like it or not, Gunna doesn't have a whole lot of lanes that he can go into, and so when you're 16 tracks in, you're kind of wanting that finish line sooner rather than later. You know what I mean?
Don't play around, don't play around, don't play around. I ain't play around, don't play around. Gas overheated, this is poverty. In the hood, selling trash, busting gas, give my mama money on the lease. We go, baby, later, that's of anything. I can take my quality.
It's a cool song. It's a cool song. It's not among my favorites off this project, and I think it could have been left off. I think it's kind of mid. It's just okay. Track 17 is Do Better. Let's go, bro. Those melodies are so nice. He's doing his thing, dude. Yeah, that's a great song. That's a great song. Fire. Production to it, great bounce. Really solid guitar melodies in the background. Gunna was sliding. I like it a lot. The last track is Far featuring Young Thug. Let's go. little outro. I'm not mad at it. It's not one of my favorites, but it's okay, you know, for sure. Man, Gunna had a really solid outing here. I would say probably 13 to 14 of these tracks I think are super dope. And so, yeah, I think that probably would have been a perfect length for this project instead of 18. I would say 13 to 14 tracks. You know, and I mentioned which one of the tracks were you know, misses, weren't really for me. But for the most part, I think 13 or 14 out of 18 is still very solid. It's a very good body of work from Gunna. I enjoyed it way better on my first listen than I did Drip or Drown 2. A lot of people still get very upset in that comment section, even though I never really got back around to listening to it again. It might have grown on me, you know, but in any case, yeah, I think that this one was a very enjoyable first listen. I can't wait to go back to it and listen to some of these tracks again, especially the ones that I added to my playlist. Gunna did his thing. He was sliding on these beats. Weezy deserves absolutely some sort of an award for how many fire beats he put into this project. And yeah, you know, I'm very happy with the way that it turned out. It is absolutely better than I was expecting. So those are my thoughts on this project. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to show some love to the channel. Support it any way that you see fit. You know, check out the tiers on the Patreon and on the membership options and see whether it's worth your while to become a patron of the channel. Like I said, that's how I crowdfund all the different segments that I want to make on the channel. And it's because of the patrons that I'm able to make videos as often as I do. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. I will see you in another video very soon. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.